Welcome to the Don't Get Fooled Show with Big Renee's NFL Week 4. Let's go, Ace.
Bam. All right, boys and girls, NFL Week 4. Cannot wait. Big Reed coming off a juicy Week 3 and cannot wait. A lot of good games on the docket, and let's keep the money train rolling. Let's get right into the picks. So without further ado, here we go, boys and girls. Aquí vamos, chicos y chicas. Let's go. All right, game 1. We got the Philadelphia Eagles at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Eagles are a 3.5-point favorite. Philadelphia coming off a 33-26 win versus the Rams. They blocked two field goals in the fourth quarter and one at the end to save the game-winning field goal by the Rams and ran it all the way down to score, and they won 33-26. They were down 26-7 in this game. And they got completely outplayed in this game, the Eagles did, but they came back. One bad beat of the decade. One of the bad beats of the decade here. Definitely voting for that. Jalen Hurts playing really well. I got to give him credit. He's playing well. And, he's, like everybody's saying, all that matters is the W's, and they're getting the W's, and he's playing well. He showed it last game against the Rams that he can throw the ball also and not just run, and so he's playing well. And then we got Tampa Bay 3-0 coming off a 29-27 win versus the Jets. They outplayed the Jets completely, but they almost blew this game with a blocked field goal that was returned all the way by the Jets in the fourth. But Baker Mayfield, got to give him credit. He led them back to a victory. And Baker, he did that last week as well against the Texans. And Baker is looking good. 61% completion, 615 yards, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions for Baker Mayfield. And first of all, here are my thoughts on this game. First of all, Philadelphia is 3-0, but they have been outgained in every single game, okay? To Dallas, to KC, and to the Rams. They honestly could have lost all 3 of those games. Philly could easily be 0-3 right now. Saquon Barkley, this guy has 194 yards on the season, 3.3 yards per carry. You heard that right, Big Reed. 3.3 yards per carry. Last year, he had 5.6 yards per carry. Panic meter is big there. That's a big drop. And first of all, Tampa Bay is at home. This is a back-to-back home game for Tampa Bay. And my thoughts are that, look, I think Tampa Bay is playing really well. I think the rookie wide receiver from Ohio State, Mbeka, was that how you pronounce the last name?
Jackson Smith and Jigba. Emeka Egbuka?
Yeah. That guy's playing really well. He's a huge addition to that offense. And I think 3.5 points is way too much for the Tampa Bay at home. I wouldn't be surprised if they win this game outright. I'm taking Tampa Bay plus 3.5. All right, game 2. We got the New Orleans Saints at the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are a 15.5-point favorite. New Orleans 0-3, coming off a 44-13 spanking by Seattle. This was my lock of the week last week, boys and girls. They were actually down 38-3 in the second quarter, Big Reed. In the second quarter, it was 38-3. And I've been saying this all year. New Orleans has got no offensive weapons at all. They got no offensive weapons. They got a backup QB at best in Spencer Rattler. At best. They got a 30-year-old Alvin Kamara as their starting running back. And they got Chris Olave and nothing else there. And then we got Buffalo 3-0 coming off a 31-21 win versus Miami. This on Thursday night, this was closer than people expected. They had a late pick by Bernard that kind of sealed this win for Buffalo. And they won 41-40 against Baltimore in week 1. Then they beat the Jets 31-10 in week 2. Josh Allen is playing great. Everybody knows that I'm a Josh Allen critic, and I've been a Josh Allen critic, and mostly because the guy just used to turn over the ball way too much, but he has cleaned that up last year. This year, he's cleaned it up, and if he can continue, the guy plays really well. 69% completion, 755 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, as I stated. And here's my thoughts on this game, boys and girls. First of all, I think the Bills, they really feel like this could be their year. Obviously, we stated earlier in the weekly recap episode that Chiefs and Baltimore are both 1-2, playing each other this week. So one of them is going to be 1-3. They feel really good about their team. They got all the momentum, and this is a back-to-back home game for Buffalo, and they got extra rest because they had a Thursday night game. This is a back-to-back road game for the Saints. I said this all along. I'm not buying the Saints at all. They're going to be really bad along with the Titans this year. Both of those teams will be lucky if they each get 3 wins. Lucky. And I really like Buffalo. I'm taking Buffalo minus 15.5. All right, game 3. We got the Tennessee Titans at the Houston Texans. The Texans are a 7-point favorite. Tennessee 0-3, coming off a 41-20 loss to Indianapolis. They're on a 3-game losing streak, and they looked horrible on both sides. Their defense gave up 41 to the Colts. They got the number 1 overall pick in Cam Ward. He's not looking good, but obviously they don't have the weapons around him to help him, but he's not looking good either. And I'll be honest, I wasn't buying him as a number 1 overall pick. This guy came from some Eastern Washington to Washington State to Miami. I was not buying this guy, to be honest. I'm not high on him. And they have the 31st ranked offense, okay? They have the 30th ranked defense, giving up 31 points per game. And they got 3 straight road games coming up for them. 3 straight road games. Then we got the Texans 0-3, coming off a 17-10 loss to the Jaguars. They had a chance, but they blew this game at the end. CJ Stroud, 64% completion, 599 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. More interceptions than touchdowns. They lost in week 1 to the Rams by 5, 14-9. They lost in week 2 to Tampa, 20-19 by 1 point, and they lost here by 7, 17-10. They honestly could be 3-0. The Texans could easily be 3-0 here. They are at home here. They have the 6th ranked defense, giving up only 17 points per game. This is my lock of the week, boys and girls. I'm taking the Texans -7. All right, Big Reed, let's go.
The first game I got is the Panthers at the Patriots. The current spread is Patriots -5.5. We got the Panthers coming off a 30-0 blowout win versus the Falcons. Ooh. Huge win for the Panthers. And then we got the Patriots coming off a 21-14 loss versus the Steelers at home. Both teams are 1-2. If we look at both QBs, in my opinion, I would put Drake May better slightly. Pats have a better offense and defense, in my opinion. Look, Panthers played amazing last week. I got to give them credit. I did not expect that. I did not see that coming at all. And kudos to them. I want to point out one factor. Bryce Young is 3-1 versus the Falcons and 7-25 versus the rest of the NFL. So, Patriots cover her easily. I'm taking the Patriots -5.5. That's my lock of the week. The next game I got is the Bears at the Raiders. The current spread is Bears -2. Bears coming off their first win in the NFL. Caleb Williams finally had his breakout season, 31-14 versus the Cowboys, while the Raiders come off a blowout loss on the road versus the Commanders, 41-24. The Bears played an awful defense in the Cowboys, and CeeDee Lamb got hurt, and that was a big blow for the Cowboys. Raiders played terrible all around. I said last week they just got to feed Ashton Genty. He had 16 carries. He should have a minimum of 20 carries in a game. I think Genty has his breakout game this one. I think Caleb has a couple of turnovers, and I'm taking the Raiders +2. The last game I got is the Colts at the Rams. Colts 3-0 coming off an amazing blowout victory versus the Titans. Rams coming off a 33-26 loss to the Eagles. Daniel Jones is looking like Peyton Manning out there with Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, Tyler Warren, and Jonathan Taylor. So the Colts' best win comes versus the Broncos, and that was on a crazy penalty, which a lot disagreed with. It was also at home. Rams' best win comes versus two 0-3 teams. They should have won last week. I don't want to get too into that. So now we go to the quarterbacks. I'm taking Matthew Stafford over Daniel Jones 100 out of 100 times. And I'm taking the Rams defense over the Colts defense. And the Rams are at home. So I'm taking the Rams -3.5.
All right, Big Ree.
And just get everyone's feedback on the new format that we got here.
Yeah, boys and girls, comment below. We're going to just put out the NFL video every week with our picks, just straight to the picks as you guys requested. So you're going to get straight into the picks. And so give us our feedback if that's what you guys want us to continue. We've changed the format, so we look forward to your feedback. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And good luck this weekend, boys and girls. Let's cash in.